Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Shaughnessy, and on this channel we discuss fragrance, beauty, and wellness. And if you simply like to have a good time and you like my vibe, subscribe. So y'all, in today's video, it's going to be a random review Wednesday perfume edition. So I had a few people request for me to do reviews on certain fragrances that I've recently hauled. So I chose the ones that I have not done a review on before on my channel, because some of the fragrances that I purchased, well, quite a few, I had samples and then I reviewed them when I was deciding, you know, if I was wanting to purchase a full bottle. So I think 3 of these for sure, I feel like everyone knows about, and you know, it's not much more I can say, but I wanted to go ahead and do the review on them just in case. And so these are going to be hopefully quick reviews, but y'all know I like to talk, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. I have 5 perfumes to talk to you all about today. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Chloe. I have the travel spray of this. Chloe is described as a floral fragrance. It was released in 2008. It has top notes of peony, lychee, and freesia, middle notes of rose, lily of the valley, and magnolia, and base notes of Virginia cedar and amber. So, a little backstory. I heard about Chloe for years. I think I've said this before, in movies, in books, people were wearing Chloe. And I don't know why I never smelled it or anything. And so I had a sample of it and I wore the samples. I think I had a couple and I was like, oh, this is really good. But then it took me so long to purchase it, I couldn't remember, you know, exactly what it smelled like. So I decided to get the travel spray to again determine, do I want a full bottle of Chloe? So Chloe to me is elegant, classy, fresh, rosy, powdery fragrance. I mean, that's just what it smells like to me. The rose comes through. I don't even know if is rose even listed. Oh yeah, okay, rose is a note. It smells like a clean, rosy, powdery fragrance. But I see it as elegant and classy, like I said. I can't see, to me it's womanly. You know, I can't see a teenager loving this, but who knows? Everybody has their different tastes, you know, of what they like. So Chloe for me lasts about 8 hours. It had moderate projection and sillage. And I feel like it's a year-round fragrance, because when I think of Chloe, and this is the EDP, because I don't know if they have an EDT, so I just want to make sure I clarify this is the EDP. When I think of Chloe, I think of classic, iconic, grown woman, elegant and classy. I mean, that's just what I think of. It's a clean, rosy. I was reading on Fragrantica, and I think one person said that it reminded them of like a high-end dryer sheet, rosy dryer sheet, and I get what they're saying. Now, I will say when I first sprayed this, it can be sharp. I don't just love the opening, but once it settles on me, I enjoy it more. I still don't know if I want to invest in a full-size bottle yet. I will know that when I use this up, because even though I enjoy it and it's nothing wrong with it, you know, you get to a point, you have so many fragrances. I don't know yet for sure if I want a full bottle of this, but I am happy I have the travel size, and you know me, I'm going to enjoy it and use it up. So those are my thoughts on Chloe. The next fragrance is another one that's been around for years and years. I think everyone practically knows about it, but I'm still gonna talk about it today. And that is Marc Jacobs Daisy EDT. Daisy is described as a floral woody musk, and it was released in 2007. It has top notes of violet leaf, blonde grapefruit, and strawberry, middle notes of violet, gardenia, and jasmine, base notes of musk, white woods, and vanilla. So this was the same thing, basically, as Chloe. I heard about Daisy forever, okay? And I think because I heard about these so much, I was like, well, everybody probably has them, so I don't want them, even though I grew out of that quickly. So like I said, I heard about Marc Jacobs Daisy, but I never even smelled the original. I had flankers and tried flankers of it, but I never even tried and smelled the original in store, nothing, because I just heard so many. It was like overplayed, I think, you know? And so I had samples of Daisy, and I wore it, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's so good. But then again, by the time I was like deciding if I wanted to invest in a full bottle, I couldn't remember exactly how I knew I enjoyed it when I had the samples, but I was like, do I really want a full bottle? So I decided to get the travel spray, and these travel sprays are so cute anyway with the little daisies on them. I always wanted one, so I said, okay, I'm gonna get the travel spray. And when I smell Daisy, I think it smells like a citrusy, powdery, fruity floral. I mean, you heard me list a whole lot of floral notes, but it doesn't feel like a dated floral fragrance. It smells like of innocence. It smells sweet, unassuming, delicate. Like I said, a floral fruity fragrance that is all that with citrus notes, powdery notes, and it smells really pretty. I have to tell y'all, I was watching, I can't remember who, because it's not someone I'm subscribed to or ever heard of, and they just popped up in my suggestions in YouTube, and there was a bunch of men, and they were ranking and rating, popular women's fragrances, and this was one of them, because I watched all the videos they were in, because those men were cracking me up, and this was one of them, and they were like, One was like, oh, this smells like an old lady. And then one of the men, I think, had a daughter. And he said, I would purchase this for my daughter because it seems very innocent, And I think one of them said, I think it was this fragrance too, like it seemed like you just go to church with it or something. Or what did they say? I don't know. They had some very interesting descriptions for these fragrances. But I got what they were saying about Daisy, Marc Jacobs Daisy. This lasts, remember it's the EDT, so on me it lasts about 4 to 6 hours, moderate projection and sillage. You're gonna have to spray heavily. But I just want to mention again, Daisy this is a classic, iconic fragrance. That's an easy reach, everyday fragrance, signature scent if you just love it, because it's one of these pretty for the sake of being pretty fragrances, which I think basically the entire Marc Jacobs line is kind of like that, in my opinion. They're just easy, pretty, usually easy, pretty fragrances to wear. And Daisy is no exception. I still don't know. I want to try the Daisy Intense too, and then when I use this up, I'll make my decision on which one I want to invest a full bottle in. But I do really enjoy Daisy. I hate it took me so long, but hey, I have it now and I'm enjoying it. And that again is Marc Jacobs Daisy. Okay, we have another Marc Jacobs fragrance here, and this is Perfect. So this is one, oh, y'all, this is one, I remember when it came out, the cap, the top to the big perfume bottle grabbed my attention because it reminded me of like Alice in Wonderland. And then I looked on the back and saw the cat, and I was like, yeah. I don't like cats. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I don't like cats. Sorry. You know, we all different. So I was like, no, so I didn't even want to smell it just in case I loved it, because I know me, I'm not the type that's going to want to take the cap off of my perfume, but I also don't want to look at the cat. So I smelled it in store, and I was so happy that I was not impressed. It didn't grab me at all, okay? So you might be asking yourself, well then Shaughnessy, why are you holding the travel spray in your hand? Well, this was a few years ago when I first smelled it, but then afterwards I keep hearing people say this smells like this smells like Bath and Body Works Poppy, which I absolutely love and adore, and regret to this day that I didn't get that beautiful perfume bottle of Poppy. I'm hoping and living on a prayer one day Bath and Body Works just decides to bring that perfume back. But that's why I got it, and I had like points or something. This was free practically, so I decided to just get it. So that's the backstory for me on Marc Jacobs Perfect. So Marc Jacobs Perfect is described as an amber floral fragrance. It was released in 2020. It has top notes of rhubarb and narcissus, middle notes of a middle note of almond milk, and base notes of cashmere and cedar. So smelling this from the bottle, I absolutely hate and abhor it. Okay? So, don't like it. Spray it out on my skin. I was like, oh, I was right. Because when I first smelled this, smelling it from here, and when you smell it on my skin, it's a very green, very tart, sour smell. That's that rhubarb, okay? And I'm familiar with rhubarb because of Delina. And I don't mind it, never minded it in Delina, can't stand it in this. So I was like, oh, okay? So that's the initial burst that I get from Perfect. Green, tart, sour, floral, okay? I also get nutty, creaminess, all of it together when I smell it, but that rhubarb takes over initially. But you gotta let it dry down, okay? And then this is a fragrance for me. It's not a close sniffer. You know, it's one when I smell it up close, I don't like it. It's one I have to get whiffs and wafts of in the air, and then I like it. So when it dries down on me, it becomes smoother, you know, more well balanced in my opinion. And then, you know, I get the milkiness, the almond milk, the nuttiness that comes out. And it's a nutty, creamy, warm floral still to me, but that green note that's just boom in your face in the beginning, the opening of the fragrance, the tartness, the sourness, that all leaves, you know, so you got to get through that, get past that to get to the good part, at least what the good part to me in my opinion. So y'all, we're gonna do this now. I want to smell Poppy side by side, because for my memory, I was like, this doesn't smell like Poppy. Even on the dry down to me, let me spray this out. Perfect it just doesn't put me in the mind of Bath and Body Works Poppy, at least to where it's a dupe. That's what people were basically saying, that they just smell exactly alike. They're dupes of each other. Here, let me refresh this spray. Okay, I get what people are saying because the opening is similar, but Poppy is sweeter in the opening. What notes does Poppy have? Okay, so it has sugared rhubarb, okay? So maybe that's why I'm not getting sourness from the Poppy that I do from Marc Jacobs Perfect. Okay. They're similar. I wouldn't say they're dupes of each other, because usually when something is a dupe, you know, I can't differentiate, you know, how much I like it. I prefer Poppy over Marc Jacobs Perfect. Poppy is easy, it's pretty right when you spray it. I don't have to wait. It's just better in my opinion. So if I could get my choice between Marc Jacobs Perfect or the perfume from Poppy, I would want the Poppy perfume from Bath and Body Works over this. So I haven't worn this out and about yet, so I don't know how long it lasts. And you know, even though I like to mention how long fragrances last, I like to mention the projection and sillage, to me that is all subjective, because your body chemistry plays a part in how a fragrance performs for you, and how you spray your fragrance plays a part in how it performs for you. So I don't, you know, to me that's subjective, as you know, as in everything with fragrance is subjective. But I don't feel too bad about not mentioning that, because once I got to thinking about it, that can be different for each person. Unless you hear, if you hear multiple people say the same thing, that this doesn't last, it doesn't last, that usually is the perfume, you know, it just doesn't last. But usually that depends on you, your environment, you know, how you spray, all of that. So with Marc Jacobs Perfect, I'm leaning towards this is not going to ever be a full bottle for me. At least this is the EDP. They came out with the EDT. They came out with an Intense. I haven't smelled either one of them. But the original, I feel like I don't ever want a full bottle. And I wouldn't get a full bottle anyway. I would just probably keep her just in the travel sprays, because I don't want that cap with the cat. So, but I feel like I feel like this is not going to be one I'm going to fall in love with. We shall see as I use it. That can change, but I don't feel like this is going to just take over and I'm going to fall in love with it. Usually I can tell. It's rare occasions where that happens. This might be one of the rare occasions where I feel like I'm not going to like it, and you know, I'm just going to enjoy it, then be done, and I might fall in love. Don't feel like it, but it might happen. So those are my thoughts on Marc Jacobs Perfect. Now we're going to talk about Viva La Juicy Sucre. Can we all just take a moment to look at the gorgeousness of this bottle? Okay, so Sucre is described as a floral fruity fragrance. It was released originally in 2016. It has top notes of red currant, mandarin orange, and gardenia, middle notes of almond cream, peach, orange blossom, and jasmine, base notes of whipped cream, vanilla, cacao, and sandalwood. I want to spray this out. Hold on. Okay, when I bought this fragrance and when I first wore it and sprayed it, it was love at first sniff. It was love at first sniff. And that doesn't happen as often as you would think. I can like a fragrance, but to love it immediately is rare for me. But this was. It was. And I mean, I was just so happy. Let's do the backstory on this. If you didn't see my haul video where I said it initially, well, I'm going to speed it up. Hopefully, I'm not repeating to too many people. I have two Juicy Couture fragrances that was on my please bring back one day. Because, you know, they do limited edition fragrances every year. A couple every year, Juicy Couture. This was my number one because I kept missing out on it. When I realized, I didn't know this one was limited edition, and I caught it towards the end. So I remember I was getting ready to order it from Macy's. It sold out and never came back in stock. Heartbroken. Finally got on FragranceNet. Every time I tried to get it, it would sell out before I could purchase it. Heartbroken. So I was like, this is just one. I don't tend to buy fragrances from eBay and other places because I had a very bad experience ordering a perfume from eBay, and I've never purchased a perfume from eBay again. So I was like, this is it. I guess it's not meant to be. And then Jasmine Bullard posted on her community tab that this was back, and I must have rushed to order, okay? Because like I said, this is number one. Bodacious is number two. So I have been waiting for this since 2020 is when which surprised me that it said it came out in 2016. So I guess it had been around for a few years, and when I found out about it, it was on its way out, and that's why I never could get it. I love this. So before I get into this perfume, remember, all the flankers are based off of the OG Juicy Couture. So Viva La Juicy. So let's spray this out, okay? Okay. Viva La Juicy. I think everyone kind of knows what this perfume smells like. It's girly, it's floral, it's fruity, it's a little sweet. It just smells like a girly, flirty perfume, okay? Easy to wear. I mean, I think everyone has either smelled this or had this in their collection at some point in their lives, okay? As I remember when this came out, I think it was late teens, maybe early 20s when this was released for me, and I saw this bottle and I went, I must have it, and I begged. So I must have been a teenager, because I have my own money in my 20s. So I was begging, and I can't remember if my mom or my dad, one of them bought it for me, and I was just in heaven. I was so happy. So we all know what that smells like. Sucre, to me, especially, I wanted to smell it side by side. I waited to do it for this video with the original Juicy Couture. Now that I've smelled it side by side, Sucre reminds me of a mixture between the original Juicy Couture and Viva La Juicy Gold, also with its own uniqueness. Sucre is a creamier, fruitier, sweeter version of the original Juicy Couture. I mean, this was love at first sniff. But see, I loved this, okay? And I wore it, never repurchased it, and then I got nostalgic, and I said I want to get it back, because I can't. Oh, who's English professor of style? You know, I can't remember her channel name ever. I always get it wrong. I will link her channel below. This is her #1 fragrance all time, period. And she was, you know, she's always mentioning it. So I decided to just repurchase it. And I still love it. Now I like it more to layer with this one instead of just on its own for me, because I just do. I just tend to layer with this more. This one, if you love the original Viva La Juicy, if you love Viva La Juicy Gold Couture, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. People say, I was reading some reviews on Fragrantica, and people were like, this is not, and on Macy's and Ulta, I've just been reading reviews, and they were like, this is not cupcake, this is not this, that, and the other. Based on, I know the packaging, you would think cupcake. I just thought it was going to be a sweeter version of the original Juicy Couture, and that's what it is to me. What surprised me is that it's juicier and fruitier than the original too. But it doesn't lose that sweetness, that vanilla, that cream. It's got almond cream, whipped cream, vanilla, cacao. It comes together in the base, honey. And it's fruity sweetness at the opening, okay? And then as it wears, it gets creamier and sweeter, and I love it. I love it. Whoo! Now, I believe I mentioned earlier how it depends if you hear someone say, well, this fragrance doesn't last, this fragrance doesn't last. Usually by that time, it's usually the fragrance, and because some fragrances just don't last. Okay, Juicy Couture fragrances are known for not being, super duper long lasting. They're known for you have to overspray. This one is no different, okay? This lasts on me where I can easily smell it. It would be about 4 to 6 hours, okay? With my Juicy Couture fragrances, usually with I spray them like they're fragrance mist. And that's how I get them to last. Now, this is one I've been babying, because I didn't want to just immediately have to go buy it again. But yeah, I spray my Juicy Couture fragrances like they are a fragrance mist, and that's how I get them to last, because they're not known for being long-lasting perfumes. So spraying moderately like I have been doing with this one, I got 4 to 6 hours, but I know how to get it to last longer. But I was choosing not to, and I was layering this too with other fragrances, and it was fine because it was lasting with how I was doing it and still not using a ton of this, my new baby, okay? So, if you're gonna get this, and trust me, I really believe in my heart, if you are a fan of the original Juicy Couture, if you're a fan of Gold Couture, if you're a fan of the Juicy Couture line in general, I can't foresee you not loving this. I really cannot. I would invest in the big bottle. Now, if you want to, just go ahead and get the smaller one, because I know, everything's expensive. Get the smaller one to see for sure. But the good thing about this, you can smell this in store. So go test it in store. And if you love it, and one thing, okay, this at first sniff, first spray, doesn't change too much. Again, like Juicy Couture fragrances are known to kind of smell the same. So this is one, you love it at first sniff, it's not going to change too much. The only thing that's going to change is the fruitiness. The juiciness is going to tone down, but the sweetness is going to come out more. So this is one I say, if you love it, if you love it at first sniff, you feel like you want it to really last for you, I would invest in the big bottle of this one, just period, because I don't have a Juicy Couture fragrance that I consider, I've never had one, and I've had quite a few in my life that I've considered a long-lasting fragrance without going to town over spraying. Now, again, what I want to say about this fragrance, it's a compliment getter. The first time I wore it, I received 2 or 3 compliments. Very, very pretty, flirty, sweet, creamy, it's just pretty. It's pretty. If you've never smelled Juicy Couture, I think you would love this one. And I don't think people are going to have a problem with not wanting to check. I wish my bottle stayed on my top stayed on, right? I think these bottles are eye-catching. They're just eye-catching no matter what. So especially this one. So I feel like people are going to see this. I know if I saw it, I would be like, what? And I would have to smell it. I would want to check it out just based on the bottle. So I feel like people are going to smell this. People are going to like this. I love it first sniff. If I hear, and y'all know I don't do backups often. I've done them once. Has it only been once? It's a couple, well, not a couple, it's a few times, 1 or 2 times I wished I had gotten a backup, but I think the only time I've gotten a backup of a perfume, I'm trying to make sure I'm not lying, is Killian's Princess, because I heard it was being discontinued. That is the only perfume that I have a backup of. I would want a backup of this one, and it's not many that I consider backup worthy, but this is a scent DNA. This kind of reminds me of Cotton Candy Clouds from Bath and Body Works. It's a scent DNA I don't get tired of. So I don't feel like I'm going to get tired of this. So I would want a backup of it because I want it in my collection. So I know a lot of you were telling me you couldn't wait to hear my thoughts on this. I love it, y'all. I love it. So Viva La Juicy Sucre. Okay, the last perfume we're going to talk about is a brand new release from Victoria's Secret, and this is Bare Rose. I purchased the Rollerball. This was released this year, 2023, and it's described as a warm floral fragrance that is an extension of the original Bare perfume. It has notes of pear skin, rose centifolia, and sheer woods. Okay, y'all. Let me tell you this. I was trying to find, I've used up my Rollerball of the Bare perfume. I was trying to find it because, you know, I keep my stuff for later on in the year for videos. I can't find it. It's in one of these bags, and I went through one and I couldn't find it, and then I was like, that's it. I'm not looking through anymore. Sorry. I didn't do it, y'all. So if you want to hear an in-depth review on the Bare perfume, the original, I will link that video above. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So this Bare Rose perfume, when I smell it, and again with Rollerballs, y'all know my thoughts on Rollerballs, okay? I don't love them for reviewing, but they will do. This is a soft, powdery, velvety, musky, somewhat creamy rose fragrance on my skin. Because let me preface this. With the original Bare perfume, I don't think they call it a molecule fragrance, but you know those fragrances that they make that is supposed to smell different on everybody because it's supposed to adjust to your body chemistry and make the fragrance, basically. So this is that type of fragrance, but with rose. So on my skin, that is what I picked up. But I will say, I can tell it's a flanker of the original Bare perfume. That perfume was always hard for me to describe. That's why I need it in front of me to smell it. And I hate that I can't find the doggone bottle. But when I smell rose, I do pick up hints of the original Bare perfume. So it's a true flanker. Because to me, a true flanker is I can pick up something from the original. I can tell they're from the same line. And since I've had and used up the original Bare perfume, I know what it smells like. And I smell this and I went, yeah, I can tell it's a flanker, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. Now, I have not worn this out, so I can't tell you how long it lasts, which I already explained why I think that's subjective. And also because this is a Rollerball. I don't feel like, for me, I don't get the full, I wouldn't feel right saying, oh, it lasts this on that, because with a Rollerball, it's different than spraying. I am a sprayer, so I can't tell you how long it lasts. I can tell you got moderate projection of sillage and all that, but I can tell you the original Bare perfume performed really well. And this reminds me of it so much that I feel like the performance is going to be the same, which was, it performed well. It lasted throughout the workday, I believe, layered well. So I feel like this is going to be a good performer. Now, in comparison, let me do this. If you don't like rose at all, I don't know. This is such a soft, like I said, almost clean rose. I would still give this a try. Even if you don't love rose, I would say give this a sniff because it's, I don't want to say it's unique in the sense I've never smelled a rose like this, but it's not what you would call a dated, outdated, old-fashioned rose at all, in my opinion. Now, between these two, the Bare perfume and the Bare Rose perfume, I feel like I like the Bare Rose better. I never purchased the full bottle of the Bare perfume because I never fell in love with it. This is one, I'm gonna use it up and see. I feel like the more I smell this, the more I like it. I loved it on my skin. I was getting whiffs and wafts and I was enjoying it, but I still don't know for sure if I want to invest in a full bottle of this. So I will know by the time I use this up, but I do like it. If you enjoy the original Bare perfume, I think you would like Rose. If you didn't particularly care for the original Bare perfume, I would say give it a try. Because like I said, I didn't hate the original Bare perfume, but I didn't love it. So, and I like this one. So I would say give it a try no matter what, especially if you like rose musky fragrances. It's very womanly, classy, a little like romantic smelling. Yeah, I do like this, and I'm excited to try it out more to see if I want a full bottle. But with Victoria's Secret perfumes, I never rush to get the full size bottle because I'm be trying to wait for a sale. Because Vicky's perfumes are high, okay? And I know they run sales, so I just tend to wait. So I'm not in any hurry to determine, do I need a full bottle of this? Because I'm not going to go buy one in the first place. Unless there like is a big a sale, or I have a coupon or points or something like that. But I do like this. And I felt like, let me know, did y'all feel like they were going to do a flanker of Bare? I did. I just didn't know how they were going to do it. So Bare Rose, I do enjoy. I say go to your Victoria's Secret, check it out if you love it. They have a bundle deal going on right now. But I do think it's very pretty. It's very soft. It's very womanly. It's just nice. I do like this. And I think it's worth checking out. And again, that is Victoria's Secret Bare Rose. All right, y'all. So those are all of the latest perfumes that I have purchased that I have not done a video on. So they're all together in this one. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and tell me your thoughts on any of the perfumes I mentioned. I would love to know. Please share this video with everybody, y'all, because we are still trying to grow over here. And please don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you don't ever miss any of my videos. And as I always say, if you like my vibe, subscribe. Until next time, bye.